my name is Katie from BOUQUET Workshops. Normally at this time of year I would be welcoming people to the Nest here in Norfolk to have a lovely Mother's Day floristry workshop. However, our plans have slightly changed, everybody's plans have changed, and I thought, seeing as I have these lovely flowers and probably a lot of us aren't going to be able to see our mummies tomorrow for Mothering Sunday, I thought I could create a bouquet for all of you that you could share with your mummies, and maybe you could virtually send it to them just in case you can't actually see them in person. So this is a beautiful bouquet made for all the mummies for Mother's Day. So what I like to do, I would suggest, if you wanted to actually reenact this at home, is to start with a jug. It means that you can put everything in it at the same time, and then you can gather it together, maybe wrap it with some brown paper and a ribbon, and you don't have to keep on holding onto it. So I walk my doggies in the local woods, and not only is it Mother's Day tomorrow, it is the spring equinox today, and that means equal day and night light. So it also triggers springtime. It is the first day of spring today. And as you can see, these are beautiful wild little sprigs which I've seen in my woodlands. These are actually wild red currants and the most gorgeous little leaves, and we're going to put those in there to make it a little bit more natural, bit wilder. So what we tend to do is we make it all sticking out at right angles, evenly like that. And then these are from my garden, contorted willow or twisted willow. Again, I don't know whether you can see, but these buds are just about to pop out with hopefully the lovely sunshine which I think we're due. So again, it's a lovely little bit of wildness that you can put in your bouquet. So I'm going to put those there too. This is a rowan or mountain ash. Again, you can see just here, this is where the lovely flowers, they almost look like cauliflower heads, beautiful white blossom in the springtime, and then it goes on to be these lovely orangey and red currants, berries in the autumn. The birds absolutely love them, and this stunning leaves. So we're going to pop a few of those in there as well. So already it's looking lovely and wild. These are my favourite things. This is pussy willow. Now I've got these from my local supermarket. So these ones here are from the supermarket, but these ones, I don't know whether you can see the difference. These ones are wild ones in the hedgerows right now. And even here, you can see it's just greening up too. And what will happen is that these little, beautiful little furry covers to the seeds will pop open when it starts to warm up. And then you have these fantastic pollen heads. I'm a beekeeper too, and the bees absolutely love and depend on that as one of their first pollen feeds of the season. So I'm going to add these too. I also like the whiteness of it. And then I've done some research of the symbology of flowers, and essentially all white flowers symbolize motherhood. It's the purity, which are absolutely stunning. So I've got some long, these are called long lilies. You can see, I'll show you how to cut these off in a little bit of this wonderful trumpet shape. And of course there's a bee which is specially designed to pollinate, to go right down there and seek out all the nectar and pollen. So we're going to add these lovely lilies. And I was going to just show you, I've cleared the rest of the stems, but when you're working with flowers and you're putting them in the vase, if you wanted to reposition them, it's a really good idea to take all of the leaves off the stem. So it means that you can put them in anywhere you like, and it doesn't then pull the rest of the bouquet out. So I'm going to cut these a little bit shorter. And what I've done is basically created a little structure to be able to support these beautiful delicate flowers. And again, I'm going to turn them so that they're facing out, nestled in all this lovely wild greenery. few in the middle. So you can see it really helps the flowers be supported by all this lovely greenery. This one here I was going to show you. There's my scissors. So always be careful of this pollen. And what I do is I just get a little pot or a little vase underneath and I cut them and then I push them in there. You can see they're already giving off their lovely pollen. If you get it on your clothes, don't brush it off. Get some sellotape and just stick it and just pull it off very slowly. Change the piece of sellotape and do that. So there's lilies. So again, we've got some other lovely white flowers, white roses. So what I tend to do is get them all similar height and I bring them up to the bouquet and I pretty much look where they're going to sit. And then again, I'm just going to pop them in between all the lovely lilies. The history of Mother's Day is that in the Christian faith, Mothering Sunday is actually Annunciation Day, big word, and it actually symbolises the day when the angel Gabriel came and visited the Virgin Mary and broke the news to her, which must have been quite shocking, that she was then going to suddenly become pregnant and be the mother of the Son of God. Whether you're a religious person or not, you can see in the calendar that 9 months later, she gives birth to Jesus. So traditionally, that's why Mother's Day is Mothering Sunday. Very interestingly though, it does coincide with the spring equinox, and at the moment it's all about animals finding their mates, deciding where to nest. So therefore Mother Nature, it's her time too. And as we can see from what's happening on the planet, she's really taking control, isn't she? These are absolutely beautiful. Again, I just wanted to show you, just to strip the stem. So you can keep these ones up here, but just take those ones off. It means that I can put it in and out without the whole thing coming out at the same time. I just wanted to show you also, bees will see all of this in absolute technicolor, and you can see all the stripes on the petals, almost like a landing strip, and it's the flowers absolutely explaining and showing the bee where to land, where to crawl in, because in there is where the nectar is, which is a lovely energy drink for the bee. And whilst they're going right down to the base of the flower, they'll then be bashing the pollen onto their bodies, and then they'll fly to the next flower and pollinate that. Beautiful flowers. So you can see we're building up most gorgeous bouquet. Nice and wild. These, I think, the most fantastic things. I call them ballerina carnations because they just look like a tutu, don't you think? And at the edges, they've got this little pinking, this little ziggy-zaggy edge. But again, it's this beautiful white. And it also means if you were to give this as a gift, either on Mothering Sunday or to anyone if you're going around to give somebody a gift in their home, if you don't know what their colour scheme is, white and green absolutely is the answer to all lovely gifts as flowers. So I'm going to add those too. Thank you. How gorgeous. If it is getting a little bit chock-a-block in there, you can just lift it up a bit, just give it a bit more space. Oh, so gorgeous. And the smell, I wish you were here. The smell is stunning. The lilies, the roses, all the lovely greenery, which I've just picked from walking in the woodland today. Really lovely spring smell. So once you've added, this is 4 bouquets from the supermarket. Once you've added all of your lovely blooms and with your greenery, get a piece of string, and you need to just grab just underneath and tie it so that when you take it out it still stays in its lovely bouquet. Nice and tightly. There. Because then I can pull it out without the whole thing collapsing. I'm going to put that there. There are the decks. So then you can decide, yep, that one probably needs to be brought up a bit. Might have sunk down. And you can rotate it and you can hold on to it, and so the whole thing isn't going to collapse because you've tied it off. And then what I do is I get brown paper, which rectangle, which I've folded, which will basically have these two ears. Make sure you've got your other piece of string ready, and you just lie the top of the bouquet there, and then you bring, just like swaddling a baby, like that. Get your string, it's just really just to secure it. Get rid of that. This is when you can also tidy up the ends. Here, and then I've chosen this beautiful subtle shot green. It really complements the flowers. It's just nice natural colours. Celebrating all that is happening in nature, and especially for all of you mummies on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.